Welcome to the Natural Track Luge World Cup kickoff in Kühtai, Austria, where we'll go back to the roots. We'll meet the best of the best. And we will be very close to the action in this fantastic setting. The World Cup season once again kicks off in Kühtai, but contrary to previous years, it's not a parallel race. Each athlete will complete 2 runs on the same track. And for the first time ever, a temporary track was designed especially for this event. Dr. Martin Gruber, an architect and former luger, was responsible for the planning. The goal in Kühtai is clear. It's to go back to the roots. This means no night events and no parallel races. Instead, it's just one question: who will be the fastest from start to finish? Mr. Gruber designed a demanding track at 504 meters in length with 6 corners. The Kühtai track is not built on forest roads, but in open terrain, which means great visibility for spectators. My goal was to take the best parts of the existing track, copy it, and transfer it onto the ski slope by using the methods of an architect. A project like this begins with the collection of terrain data, with conventional topographical surveys and aerial filming. We create a 3D model which is virtually accessible by the application. The team built a physical model with the help of a 3D molding cutter. This model is useful to get a feeling for the corners. As soon as the computer data are checked and approved, we send them to the snow groomer. He builds the track exactly according to the gradient of the slope and other criteria. Natural Track Luge aims to become part of the Winter Olympics in Beijing in 2022. Sustainability is also an important factor in accomplishing this mission. The name of the game is Natural Track Luge. We want to show how a track comes into existence within a short time frame and what it can look like after the competition is over. The cows will subsequently use such temporary tracks as the Kühtai track. But this will only happen in the new year. For the time being, let's have a look back. In the previous winter, the overall World Cup in doubles category was only decided in the final race of the season. The team of Porshnev-Lazarev took their 4th title. Pignata Clara had to be happy with the 2nd place for the first time in 4 years. Tobias Angere and Rupert Brugler took bronze. The reigning world champions are aiming high this year. We want to win a medal at the European Championships and also try to get to the podium in the World Cup. Anything else would be slightly disappointing. The exceptional sportsmen Patrick Pignetta and Florian Clara are aiming for the same. The South Tyroleans have figured out why their impressive winning streak ended. Yeah, as we both start in both disciplines, we lost sight of the doubles in the previous year. That's why we began training earlier this year. Last year we noticed that we lacked a bit of confidence. We didn't always attack forcefully enough. So, should the competition prepare themselves for a reinvigorated duo of Pignetta Clara? We saw during the first runs here that the effortlessness is back. We're doing it playfully again. Plus, our equipment was just perfect. The luge is very good again, and we are working well together as a team. It's all 3 factors together, let's put it like that. But the reigning champions Porshnev-Lazarev are also brimming with confidence. They're just as experienced as the duo from South Tyrol. The Russians took their first world championship 12 years ago. The 4th title has certainly given us new confidence. We hadn't won the World Cup for a long time. Now we believe in our strength again. We will work hard to take the 5th title this year. The favorites are obviously fully motivated. It will be exciting to see who will succeed in the end. It's freezing cold during the decisive second run, minus 15 degrees Celsius. Pignetta Clara indicated in the first run who is in charge. They had the fastest time with 33.30 seconds. Let's check the runs of the 5 best duos. The team of Martyanov and Rodin are the first of 3 Russian duos who are among the leading 5 after their first run. The Russian team is in top form at the beginning of the season. Alexei Martyanov and Ivan Rodin are the youngest lugers of the team. A bright future will lie ahead for them if they continue to perform like this. They don't always find the racing line, but on the other side, they also don't make any severe mistakes on this short track. They're a few hundredths faster than in their first run and defend their 5th place. Let's see how the other Russians react to this strong performance. Alexander Egorov and Peter Popov were pushed from the top of the Russian team by Porshnev and Lazarev in the previous season. But in the 2 years before, they've been constant contenders for the podium. They were 0.08 of a second faster than Martyanov and Rodin in the first round, but Egorov-Popov have some issues. They don't seem to be perfectly synchronized yet, and their moves are not really smooth. They don't really make any mistakes in the final corners, but they lose time anyway. They can't pass their teammates and finish 0.5 slower than in the first run. Now it's the top 3 from the first run. Brugler and Angere have done the doubles together for 10 years now. They had a fantastic season the previous year, but will they be able to keep this level? They are 3rd after the first run, which sounds promising. The Austrians are 37 hundredths ahead of Martyanov and Rodin. Rupert Brugler and Tobias Angere proudly wear the jersey of the world champions, and they go full throttle. This has to be the fastest split time, but they make a mistake in the 4th corner. Will this mishap cost them 3rd place? No, they managed to defend their lead and are even a bit faster than in the first run. This means they're on the podium. Only 2 teams are left. The reigning overall World Cup winners from Russia will go first. Porshnev, Lazarev only lead by a narrow margin of 0.10 of a second over the Austrians. They have to deliver a perfect run to defend 2nd place. The Russians work well together in the upper part. Even this demanding track doesn't set their nerves on edge. But the split time shows they've lost the lead. They also have problems at the challenging 4th corner. They don't have much time left to catch up again. A confident run by Porshnev-Lazarev, but will it be enough? No, they're 0.07 of a second slower than Brugler-Angere. This will certainly annoy the 2 perfectionists. This opens the door for the racers from Italy. Patrick Pignetta and Florian Clara have a comfortable lead of 0.47 of a second from the first run. They are highly motivated to get back to the overall World Cup title. They're both eager to demonstrate their dominance already in the beginning of the season. And they managed to do so. The Italians harmonize perfectly. They steadily extend their lead in the tight corners. They even take that difficult 4th corner in a masterful way. Their training pays off. This is an extremely fluid performance by the South Tyroleans. They're a full second faster. What a great performance. The feeling we had 2 years ago is back. The effortlessness is back. We ruled the race at all times. This track suited us really well, and the equipment worked perfectly. These are the reasons for this fantastic victory. Pignetta Clara win the Kühtai race for the 4th time consecutively. Brugler Angerer takes silver, Porshnev Lazarev with the bronze in 3rd. Dramatic scenes happened in the women's category at last year's World Cup finals. Greta Pinjera took the Crystal Globe away from Evelyn Lantala and celebrated her first ever win of the overall World Cup. Lantala, who had been the reigning world champion, had to contend with silver. Tina Unterberger took bronze. She's always been strong at Kühtai, but the parallel race is history now. For sure it hurts me as I'm a fan of parallel races, but the new track is full of tricky lumps and bumps. We all have to conquer the same track. It's fantastic. It's perfect.
Ecken und Kanten und wir blogen alle da, aber ist super, es passt perfekt.
Evelyn Lantala is also happy with the new track. The Italian has resolved to attack the new season aggressively after the shock at the end of the previous winter. She eagerly wants that World Cup trophy back in her trophy cabinet. You just don't want to leave the top spot of the podium if you've won it 2 times before. I told myself to be content with 2nd or 3rd place this winter, but for sure, all I want to do is be on top and win. Greta Pinjera made the top several times last season. After taking the World Championship and the overall World Cup, the hunter has become the hunted.
Yes, this
is a new situation for me. I've never been in this position before. I've taken it in stride so far, but the new track in Kühtai doesn't suit my riding style, I have to admit. It's against my style as the corners are very tight and you have to work a lot. I'm a smooth luger. I love wide turns where you can gain momentum. It's a special challenge for me to score a good result here at Kühtai.
Und für mich ist das eine besondere Herausforderung, noch in Kühtai ein gutes Resultat zu machen.
And there's additional competition this season. Russian Grand Dame Ekaterina Lavrantieva is back after a baby break. She might still be lagging in the training, but she is highly motivated. It was really difficult for me to sit in front of the TV set and only be able to watch luging. I always ask myself, why am I not part of it? I sat there and I cried.
Und immer sitzen und fragen, warum nicht ich kommen und sitzen und.
The waiting is over. Ekaterina Lavrantieva is joining in the Kühtai race. Let's see how the women's final worked out. Tina Unterberger leads after the first run ahead of Greta Pinjera, while Evelyn Lantala has room for improvement. Ekaterina Lavrantieva also made the top 10. The Russian is 9th after the first heat. The 36-year-old wants to attack the top spots 1 year after the birth of her twins. Lavrantieva had won the overall World Cup 10 times consecutively. She took 12 medals at World Championships and is a 6-time European champion. Even though she didn't have time to train as much as she would have liked, she gets along well on this difficult track here at the Kühtai. The Grand Master of Luging has not forgotten anything. This is a technically clean performance. She defends her position. It will be exciting to see what Lavrantieva will deliver in the upcoming races after she's trained a little bit more. Evelyn Lantala made some mistakes in her first run and is only in 5th now. She was not happy with the turning of her luge. Let's see if the 26-year-old can do better in the second round. The track is still perfect and it's still freezing cold. Lantala riding confidently. She's faster than the competition. The vice world champion is not happy with 5th place and gives everything to return to that podium. And she's first. She's 20 hundredths faster than before, and now she has to wait and see. Michelle Diepold was 3rd after the first run. Will she take her first medal in an adult competition? The Austrian won the Junior World Championship. Her best place in the World Cup so far has been 4th. A good start for the 21-year-old here, but she has problems in the first corner. She continues fighting though, flying to the finish with style. But then she touches the wall in the 3rd corner. Will this cost her? The track is slower in the middle part and doesn't forgive any mistakes. Will she be able to catch up again with the final strong push? No, Diepold is slower than Landthaler. The Austrian is annoyed about the missed opportunity. Still 2 women at the start. World champion Greta Pingera has to go first. The South Tyrolean had some problems in the training, but when it came to the race, she delivered. Pingera leads 3/10 over Landthaler after the first round. She has to fight hard in the 2nd corner, but she doesn't lose any time and keeps her position. The world champion rides with a lot of aggression, but she handles her luge perfectly even on this tricky track. This will certainly be a very good time. And yes, this is the fastest time of the day so far, a new course record, so to speak. Tina Unterberger feels the pressure on her shoulders now. The Austrian was successful in the parallel races at Kühtai in the 2 recent years, and now she's in the lead again after delivering a textbook performance in the first run. Will the 31-year-old be able to repeat this? She doesn't ride clean at the top, slipping away from the racing line. Unterberger has lost her lead over Pingera. She doesn't take the 4th corner perfectly. It's tough now. Even more difficult to defend the 1st place here. Tina Unterberger's experience just doesn't pay off, and by 300ths of a second, it's gold for Pingera instead of a hat trick for Unterberger. I tried hard, and I knew I could show a lot until the end. Perhaps it looked like I had lost hope after the training rounds, but I knew I could do this. I had confidence. That's the most important thing. You can reach and achieve a lot if you believe in yourself. Pingera ahead of Unterberger and Landthaler, and a successful comeback for Lavrantieva in 8th place. Let's head over to the men. Thomas Kammerlander emotionally celebrates his overall World Cup win in front of his home crowd last season. He took the World Cup for the first time, pushing Patrick Pignetta from the top after 11 years. Alex Gruber won the World Championship and the 3rd place in the overall World Cup. My first priority this season is to win the overall World Cup. I want to win it. This is my big goal. The title, that is still missing. I will give everything this season to be on top of the overall World Cup. But Patrick Pignetta is also eager to take back his crown. The loss of the cup shook him up after the 30-year-old had dominated the competition for years. Yes, for sure. This was motivation to pull myself together for the daily training in the summertime. I'd been working hard in the summers before, but maybe, for sure, I have a different goal and a different motivation now compared to the years before. I wasn't bored in the past, but now the challenge is bigger. Thomas Kammerlander hails from Ötztal, the valley next to Kühtai. The overall World Cup winner took bronze twice here. He wants to win the gold medal this year. I'm full of confidence after my success last year. I go into the race very confidently. It's a fantastic experience for me to be hunted. But for sure, I also feel a lot of pressure to continue the success of the previous year. This makes the whole thing a bit more difficult compared to the years before. But I'm sure I can handle this with my, well, let's call it coolness.
Schwieriger zu den letzten Jahren, aber ich denke, dass ich mit meiner, sagen wir mal, Coolness das wieder hinkriegen werde.
The second run of the finals, the fastest men getting ready for the decisive performance. Alex Gruber is in the lead after the first round, but Kammerlander and Pignetta are close behind. Christian Schupf is in 7th place. The Austrian is focusing on the single luge only this season. He lost his double partner as his brother has retired from his career. He's quick at the start and very fast in the first part of the track. The 29-year-old is risking a lot, putting it all on the line for a fast run, but will he be able to improve his ranking? Schupf is slightly slower than in his first run, but obviously happy with his wild ride. Michael Scheichel is the next athlete at the start. After a long injury break, the 28-year-old has battled his way back into the Tour and finished the last season in 5th place in the overall ranking. He aims to return to the podium this year. Kühtai is the perfect place for him to do it. After the first run, Scheichel is in 4th place. The Austrian finds a good line and he doesn't lose much time. A solid run, just as his first. He's a bit slower than before now, though, and he has to wait and see what the competition will do after he crosses that finish line. 3 athletes still wait at the top. Patrick Pignetta is the first to go. He's 37 hundredths back and in close contact to the top, but first he has to defend Scheichel's attack. He's a bit shaky here, but then he's back on track and doesn't have any problems anymore. An extremely clean run, Pignetta showing all his experience here. He maneuvers through the tight corners of the track with style and efficiency. He takes the racing line and is very fast. A superior performance by Pignetta, and he's fast. 31 seconds, 11 hundredths is the fastest time of the day so far. Thomas Kammerlander smells a chance to win here. It would be his first victory at Kühtai. Will the Austrian manage to repeat a great performance from the first run? A very fast start, and he takes the first corner masterfully. This is an important boost for his confidence. At the split, he's 2 tenths ahead of Pignetta. He rides the razor's edge, but he has to risk something as the competition showed strong performances and the gaps are very small. Kammerlander doesn't make any mistakes and controls the luge to its fullest. The home crowd going wild, and the Austrian clocks in just the same as Pignetta and stays on top. It's already clear this is his best place at Kühtai ever. There's only one man left who could spoil the party for Kammerlander, reigning world champion Alex Gruber. He's under pressure after Kammerlander's impressive performance. And he answers with the fastest start time yet. Gruber had a nearly perfect first run that put him 16 hundredths into the lead. The 24-year-old puts the pedal to the metal, and this is the right thing to do if he wants to win here. But his lead is melted away in the first half of the track. He's now only in second, and Kammerlander showed a fantastic performance in the second part. Gruber trying hard and searches for a straight line, but it's not enough for the Italian. He's only the 4th best time on the second run. He drops back now to 3rd place. Thomas Kammerlander is overwhelmed with joy.
Ja, so in die Saison starten.
Yeah, this is the perfect start for the season. It couldn't be better. I've never won a kickoff race before, and what makes it even better is the crowd. There are so many spectators here. This is my home race. I'm from Ötztal, but this is a very special experience for me. First place and the gold medal for Kammerlander, Pignetta silver, Gruber with the bronze. And with this result, we say goodbye from the clear blue skies of Tyrol. What a kickoff into the season on the glassy ice of Kühtai. We'll meet again next year when the natural track lugers will fight for medals on the picturesque tracks of South Tyrol, Italy.